Hi, everyone. I'm Julie Eddleman, the Chief Commercial Officer at DoubleVerify, and we're really excited to be with you here today at the NewFronts. By combining sight, sound, and motion, digital video is one of the most powerful mediums for capturing consumer attention. So it's no surprise that digital video is one of the fastest growing advertising formats, with CTV leading the charge. This growth is driven by both user behavioral shifts and advertising spend. However, in line with that increased investment from advertisers, the expectations are also growing and the demands for both quality and effectiveness. The digital video environment comes with a number of challenges, including fraud, inconsistent technology standards, and limited content transparency. All of these really make it hard for brands to protect their brand equity, minimize waste, and measure performance. DoubleVerify is a leading software platform for digital media measurement and analytics. Our mission is to make digital advertising ecosystems stronger, safer, and more secure. We work with brands, agencies, and publishers to help them measure and optimize their media quality and performance. Reckitt is one of our most important customers and a leading global CPG company. Their popular household and personal care brands span three categories: hygiene, health, and nutrition. Ted Gray, the Ad Technology and Innovations Manager at Reckitt, is here today to discuss digital video, how he manages the challenges of media quality and performance, and his really exciting vision for the future. Ted, thanks a ton for being with us today. Really appreciate your time. So let's start with media quality. Can you tell us just a little bit more about your approach overall at Reckitt?
Great, well, thank you for having me. So working at Reckitt, we have a number of different brands and we advertise in many markets. So we use DoubleVerify's technology to help us define what a quality impression is. So for Reckitt and our brands, we start off with context, understanding the environments in which our ads are served, and also whether they appear in the correct geographies, whether that's the correct region, the country, or the intended DMA. We also want to look at how many of those ads were served to real human audiences, as opposed to bots or machine-driven traffic. And then lastly, of those same impressions, how many were visible on the screen? So how many were viewable according to the industry standards? And it's all four of those metrics combined is how we define a true quality impression for Reckitt and our brands.
Great, thanks, Ted. And maintaining quality is really a consistent theme among many of our brands that we work with at DV. This is one of the reasons why several years ago we created the Authentic Ad Measurement Standard. And for an ad to be authentic, it has to be fully viewed by a real human in a brand safe and suitable environment and in the intended geography. Many global brands are actually using the DV Authentic Ad as a consistent currency to measure quality across platforms, devices, and formats, including CTV. So Ted, once you've established that baseline for media quality, you need to really start thinking about performance. So can you share with us how you're approaching performance measurement at Reckitt?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things at Reckitt we're now trying to do is move beyond viewability, simply just by understanding whether our ads had the opportunity to be seen, but actually now did consumers pay attention to the message we're serving. One of the reasons for this is we're seeing a shift with how publishers are creating more stickier formats on their sites, but there's a variation in terms of engagement rates based on the ad experience itself. So here we just have an example of one publisher and how the player can get minimized as the user scrolls down the page. And with the sound being off, you can argue that the attention of this ad is very low or zero at all. So what we are now looking at is understanding what are the key variables for what drives that attention rate. So based on some industry research and our own tests and learns, we're seeing that there are three core areas that drive that higher attention rate for video. So firstly, we look at how long was the ad staying on the screen, so the duration and time in view. Were the ads played with sound or sound off? And also the real estate on the page, so how large was the ad on screen? And with all those three areas, that's how we're defining sight, sound, and motion for video.
Thanks, Ted. We agree that starting with a baseline of quality is really the foundation. And once you've got that foundation in place, you can then actually begin to look at what the ad's potential is to perform. So whether or not those ads perform or not really has to do with what the user is doing at the time that the ad is presented to them. That's why we launched just this past February something called DV Authentic Attention. Authentic Attention provides actionable insights into what truly drives campaign effectiveness for global brands. It builds on DV's authentic ad and leverages over 50 data points to provide deep impression-level insights that are actionable across marketing goals, all while being privacy safe. This data falls into two areas, and we call them exposure and engagement. More specifically, Authentic Attention goes beyond traditional viewability, which has really been the classic proxy for efficiency, and it analyzes real-time data in the form of actionable indices. We have the Exposure Index, which is a measure of ad presentation. Exposure takes into account things like in-view, sound on, share of screen, video quartile performance, and more. The Engagement Index is a measure of user interaction, proof that the user was actually there during the ad exposure. Engagement gauges numerous user interactions at the device and ad level, such as scrolling, video playback, device orientation changes, and much more. This is definitely a paradigm shift for verification, and we're really excited to be leading the industry at DV. We're trying to move from quality measurement to predictive performance insights for our clients. With this solution, advertisers are able to dig in and really benchmark the top performing sites and apps, evaluate cost-effective private marketplace deals that show really high performance, and then they also can focus on ad units and creatives that deliver the most impact. So Ted, I'd really love to understand how you are leveraging video delivery insights and attention metrics at Reckitt.
Great. So with the data we now have on our campaigns, we're able to start understanding the drop-off rates in terms of the attention rates of our video creative. So initially looking at the classic quartile completion rate metric, we see typically across most of our campaigns quite high performance, all the way through to the 100% quartile completion. However, it becomes very interesting when you start to overlay other data such as how many of those ads were in view and completed, and then also how many of those ads remained in view with sound on to the end. So overlaying that additional data, we can actually see that the drop-off rates is much higher than initially first thought. So that has a huge impact on how we serve our media and our messaging to the consumer based on the environments in which we're buying. So an example of this would be one of the creatives that we have here for one of our brands, which is Feet in the UK. And we have an example TVC creative that was adapted for the digital campaign. But with this message, you can see that there are no subtitles, the ad requires sound, and the key message appears towards the end of the creative. So what we're now able to do with the data we have and the performance of our past campaigns is adapt that message to be a bit more digital first, and show the key message at the start of the creative. Also ensure that there are subtitles where we are serving in sound off environments, to ensure that even when ads are not played to fully duration, we're making sure that the key impact of our message is still seen for the environments we're buying.
That is just super cool, Ted, to see how Reckitt's leveraging their attention insights to really optimize creative performance. How are you going to build on that to improve performance measurement in the future?
Great question. So one of the missing pieces in the puzzle is what's the right price to pay for that high quality impression? So what we're able to do with the Pinnacle platform is start to marry up the performance and the cost data that we take from the buying platforms to create this media database, which allows us to compare placement to placement, format to format, and really understand the true price to pay, which can have a direct impact on ROI. So the cost and the performance, by optimizing both, we can improve the overall return on the media campaigns that we're optimizing.
We totally agree. And we're talking to many clients about really trying to move towards that ROI measurement. And that's why at DV, we're planning to incorporate investment metrics insights in the very near future. This should help advertisers make better informed optimization decisions by incorporating those media costs as an additional dimension into their analysis on top of that quality and attention metrics. So thanks, Ted, for your insights, and to everyone here at the NewFronts for joining today. DoubleVerify is delighted to be participating and celebrating in just the explosive, incredible growth in video formats across channels. Feel free to reach out to sales@doubleverify.com if you have any questions, or reach out to me directly via LinkedIn. I cannot wait to see everyone in person really soon as the world opens up. I love this industry and I can't wait to move forward together.